Hey folks, David here once again. Hope you enjoyed my review of Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, which was my last 2023 superhero review. Now, this next review is a 2022 superhero film. I know, guys, back in June, I was going to review this movie, but I couldn't at the time. So I reviewed The Batman. This film was February. The Batman, starring Robert Patterson, came out in March, and I reviewed that back in June. That is on my channel. I'm out of the 2022 superhero reviews on here. This was going to be the first one, but at the time I could not afford to buy it on Prime Video. But today I was able to afford it and watch it. And this is a DC animated film. Yeah. Then after this, folks, we're gonna get in my 2024 reviews after I'm done with this. So, which I'll explain later. But this is an animated superhero film based on DC Comics character Catwoman, who was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Catwoman, of course, is Selena Kyle. You know, her first appearance was in spring 1940. Yeah, is when the character was first to be. It's produced by Warner Brothers Animation for DC Entertainment. It was released on February 8th, 2022, direct to video. It is the 49th installment in DC Universe animated original movies. That is, if I get a picture from my IMDb here, if it'll show. Sorry. That is Catwoman Hunted, which I really, quick thoughts on it though. To start off, I really enjoyed this film. This was really good. This was definitely better. In my opinion, this was a lot, tons better than Catwoman starring Holly Berry from 2004. Tons better. Because I felt like they got the character right. You know, her name is Selena Kyle, Catwoman. She's a cat burglar, anti-hero. You know, who's a cat burglar. Plain as simple as that. You know, yeah. I mean, what that movie did, Patient Phillips, and the whole story about Beauty, Sharon Stone, and all these history of the Catwoman, which made no sense at all in that movie. That film was complete trash. Even the music score in this movie is better than the 2004 film, which has a shitty score, you know, a shitty fight scene at the end, and this definitely has a better, you know, a better fight scene at the end. But there are problems with the movie. I do have my issues with it though. Despite that, you know, the problems I have, if you took some of that out, this movie would be completely perfect in my opinion. Perfect. I can't do the Catwoman thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's sexier when a woman does it. Yeah. It stars the voices of Elizabeth Gillies, Stephanie, and Stephanie Barrett's. The Japanese studios behind the Pokemon anime series. Now, I'm not really into anime. I mean, I grew up kind of watching Pokemon, playing video games a bit of Pokemon. I haven't watched some of the Pokemon animated movies in a while. I need to. But my favorite thing of anime is probably Pokemon, to be honest. Because I kind of grew up on the show and playing some of the games. But anyway, they provided their animation service for the film with their team Igna. Sorry, for the production. The film was announced on August 17th, 2021, alongside the voice cast. The film had an anime style production. Again, folks, you said that you probably heard on my channel me say I'm not really a fan of anime, but this film I was fine with it. I like the anime in here. I don't hate anime completely. I mean, it's just something I'm not into with animation, but that's just me. Shinji Tarask, directed and written by Greg Weisman, while Ethan Spelling is attached as a producer. Also, you have Michael Uslin, I can't say his name right, as executive producer on this film. Now, he's produced many DC movies, but he started out with bringing Batman and back into the dark, you know, with Batman '89. Yeah, he got the ball rolling in that movie. Yeah. And Sam Risher, who's produced multiple DC animated films as executive producers. Yeah. As Sneak Peek was released during the DC Fandom's 2021 Warner Brothers animation panel, it was started by Wiseman to attach to his animated series Young Justice. Some of the versions of the film's events occurred in the Universal cartoon, but not necessarily with all the details exactly the same. I've never seen that. But Catwoman was released on DVD and Blu-ray. This film was released. It's direct to video. And I would not say it's for kids. It does have some blood in it. You know, it's a pretty dark movie, but yeah. Let's see. One critic gave it 9 out of 10 stars. Catwoman has fun anime superhero adventure film that ranks among the best DC Universe movies line. I could agree with that, but the one thing that makes me disagree with it. It marks a very welcome step from DCU, so I think critics liked it. And for the voice cast, you have Elizabeth Gillies as Catwoman, Selena Kyle. That's her name. You know, That is the character's name. Elizabeth, a gorgeous woman. Yeah. She was on vacation 2015. Let's see. She was in the. She did a voice work for a short film called Death and Return of Superman. In this movie, yeah, and she's done worked in some television shows as well, like Dynasty, Robot Chicken, and Family Guy, and iCarly. Stephanie Beretz as Batwoman. Kate Kane. Short Term 12 with Brie Larson. Pee Wee's Big Holiday, Ice Age Collision Course. In this movie, and don't say good luck. Well, upcoming, I guess. Probably highly, but I see as Cheetah, Barbara Marnarva. I don't think I've heard of her. Well, she was in A Dog's Purpose, playing Maya. Corella with Emma Stone. And Sarah Cecil as Talia al Ghul, Interval Commando. Just doing some voice work, some animated cartoons. Steve Bloom as Solomon Grundy in Pilot. Stephen Blue. Let's see, did he voice the? I think he voiced the Flash in some of the Batman. I mean, some of the DC animated movies. I'm sorry. Did he? Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry. Oh, he voiced Lex Luthor in Justice League Flashpoint Paradox. Some of the Scooby Doo animated movies and more Kombat animated movies. For Lego DC Batman Family Matters, he voiced Scarecrow. Laura Corn as Julie Pennyworth, another beautiful actress as well. I think I've only seen her in the. Well, she was in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice playing Martha Wayne. Some movie. I don't remember. It could have been her. The Boy from 2016, which I've seen that movie. That movie I thought sucked. Jonathan Banks as Black Mask, Roman Science, who I thought did a great job. Oh yeah, really good actor as well. And Better Call Saul, There Goes the Neighborhood, Under Siege 2, Dark Territory, great actor. A lot better than Ewan McGregor and Birds of Prey. I mean, I like Ewan McGregor. Don't get me wrong, he's great as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the series and in the prequel movies, and in Christopher Robin. I never seen Train Spotting, but I heard he was good in that movie. I liked him in Big Fish. Ewan McGregor is a fantastic actor. I liked him as the voice of, you know, Rodney. Yeah. He also voiced Jim Gordon in Batman Arkham Knight. Great actor, in my opinion. But the reason I just didn't like him in the movie, Owen McGregor and Birds of Prey, because they made him a sexist, and we don't get enough Black Mask in the movie at all with his mask on. We just get him acting flamboyant and just screaming at a woman to take her clothes off and just doing some weird dance. I don't want to see a Black Mask do that. Okay, that's just not the character. And of course, he was in Beverly Hills Cop as well, the original. You know, like a secondary villain, the secondary antagonist in that movie. Yeah. In 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie, which is also an Eddie Murphy, Armed and Dangerous. I remember him in that movie. Incredibles 2, he did voice work in that. But another fantastic actor, like I said, voiced Jim Gordon in Batman Arkham Knight. Yeah, another fantastic actor in my opinion. And that was Jonathan Banks. So Keith David as Tobias Well. Keith David's done a lot of voice work. He was in Armageddon 1998. They Live. I love this part with Polly, Rodney Piper. Sorry. Dead Presence. There's something about Mary. I remember him in that Barbershop. Uh, Princess and the Frog. He voiced Dr. Faciller, the Shadow Man, and Spawn the animated series and Gorgals. And he was in the Agent Cody Banks movie 1 and 2 with Frankie Muniz, another great actor in my opinion. Always one of my favorites. Jonathan Frakes is King Freddy. Boss Moxley. Let's see. Oh, the Jonathan Frakes, yeah. Who, of course, you should know from Star Trek: The Next Generation as Commander William Riker. Yeah, and he directed some of the Star Trek movies. He directed one of my favorite movies, personally. That is Clock Stoppers and Star Trek First Contact. My Probably the second best Star Trek movie in my opinion is First Contact. He was in some of the episodes as well, like Deep Space Nine, Guard, Discovery, Strange New Worlds, Voyager. Probably just making cameos in there, and of course being in Picard. Clock Stoppers, he directed that. Yeah, that was a great movie in my opinion. Definitely underrated sci-fi good movie with a really good concept, a good premise, and an entertaining movie. Yeah, in my opinion, underrated film. And the gorgeous Kelly Hu as Shuri J. Nugent. Kelly Hu, she's worked with DC before. Um, well, not DC, X2 X Men United, but that's Marvel. But I think with DC, she let's see, I think she did a voice for Batman: Soul of the Dragon, and she was in the TV show Arrow, I think, as well. And of course, you remember her as the Scorpion in the Scorpion King with the Rock. And like I said, Lady Deathstrike in X2 X Men United. That's Marvel, but another gorgeous actress. One of her first, if I can talk, her first movie was Friday the 13th. I think it was part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. I remember that movie. Yeah. And like I said, the Scorpion King. She was doing the Samurai Sword. I remember her doing the voice work. Batman of the Red Hood. So in Green Lantern and all that. So she's worked with DC before. Yeah. And does voice work in a movie that came like a year later after this. That was Watchmen Chapter 1. She was in TV series 20 Jump Street. Let's see. CSI, Mad TV, Phineas and Verb, Arrow, China White, NCIS New Orleans. Yeah, but another really great voice cast here, in my opinion. Andrew Kissin as Mr. Yakuza, The Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I think I remember watching that show. I think. This isn't work for some animated shows. Eric Lopez as Domain 1, Leviathan Core 3, J. Keen Ordis as Ladama, Ranyon as Dr. Tenzin, Interpol Commander 2. Alright, so let's get to the story of the movie. Oh, right, people who worked on the movie. Directed by Shemnet Rusty. I can't say probably a Japanese name, but he did a great job. Written by Greg Wiseman, who's worked on some animated movies. Well, DC Showcase Green Lantern, Atlantis Milo's Return, directed video film. Gorgar's Men in Black the series, Kim Possible, The Batman the 2004 series, Batman the Brave and the Bold, Beware the Batman, Star Wars Rebels, Teenage Mutant Turtles. Yeah. Produced by Ethan Spaulding, who worked on like Avatar, storyboard for some stuff. Other movies include Scooby Doo, Camp Scare, Scooby Doo Legend of the Centaur, Batman the Brave and the Bold, Son of Batman, Scooby Doo Return to Zombie Island. I'm sorry, I can barely speak, folks. Edited by Robert Ishney. Music is by Yukinak Yumni. Sorry, can I say that? Who's ever worked for some other Japanese, I guess, cartoons, you can say. Distributed by Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. Directed companies of Warner Brothers Entertainment, DC Entertainment, OLM Team Uno. It's 78 minutes long, but the film is about 1 hour and 18 minutes long, so it is short. Yeah. Believe me, it goes by at a pretty good pace as well. And for the story, maybe I don't need to say it here. Yeah. But with the story of the film, I'll give you the plot. So if you've never seen Catwoman Hunted, don't watch this review. So the film follows the story of Selena Kyle, aka the Catwoman, the Catpler. She attempts to steal a priceless jewel that is an emerald. It's like a green emerald, costs a lot of money. But it gets her caught in the process of a powerful of criminals and villains known as the Leviathan, run by, you know, Black Mask. Yeah. She's the emerald she's after, and then she deals with Black Mask. And of course Batwoman. So Catwoman, in order to clear her name, well, not clear her name, but they're gonna, Julie Pennyworth and this other Interpol officer, they're gonna get drop the charges on her. Well, they say if you help us, Catwoman, you help us, Selena, we'll take your record away. You'll be free to go. And I guess you can say they're so insane that they probably want to kill a lot of people. Or well, Selena has another motive for wanting to stop them as well, which you figure which also at the end of the movie. But yeah, so Catwoman has to team up with them and go up against Cheetah as well in the climax of the film. And yeah, and it's a pretty simple story. I mean, what do you think? What do you do with the Catwoman character? You've been Robin still as Catwoman. Anyway, let's start talking about I'm gonna talk about this movie itself. So again, if you've never, this is my first time watching this movie, so bear with me. My first time only seeing it. Yeah, but I did enjoy it. So if you've never seen Catwoman Hunted, don't watch this review. Turn it off. There are spoilers in this review. And guys, thank you for the 300, before I continue, thank you for the 330 subs. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm sorry for the lack of videos. Again, it's work again, guys. I work like, been working like 3:45 a.m. in the morning at FedEx. So some days I just come in real tired. After Aquaman Lost Kingdom, I just took a little break. Sometimes it's good to take breaks from YouTube. Just can't do YouTube all the time. But let's get to the movie itself. So Catwoman Hunted here. So here we go. Remember, again, there are spoilers in this review. So if you've not seen this movie, please don't spoil it for yourself. You were warned. All right, 16 minutes in. Here we go. So the movie, I do like the opening titles, and the music was pretty good as well. Of Catwoman like fighting some bad guys or whatever, like she's stealing something as usual, and using her whip and her sense of humor. Yeah, well, really nice opening titles. You have a masquerade ball is being held in the mansion. Many of the guests are dressed as superheroes, and some like Supergirl, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Some are dressed as the Riddler, the Joker. And Selena comes in wearing an old Catwoman costume. I think this was a nod to the comics, because I think one of the early appearances she wears that old Catwoman suit with a cape. And again, she looked gorgeous, and she flirts with the what do you call it, the valet that takes your car keys and takes off for you. While her cat Isis is sneaking around, and Black Mask, well, she falls for it. At least in here we see Black Mask in his mask, and he's not being flamboyant or acting all weird and screaming like a lunatic, and doesn't die in this stupid, pathetic way. They don't turn him into a sexist. Black Mask is just criminal number one who runs a criminal scheme, a very high-ranking crime boss in Gotham. You know, yeah, that always keeps his black mask on. But Tobias Wells, but they take Black Mask to their hostess, that is Leviathan's leader, that is Lady Barbara Minerva, who is of course the cheetah. And then Selena flirts with some people, and then she goes puts her cat suit on, and along her cat suit again. I do think Halle Berry does look sexy in her Catwoman suit, despite the Mickey Mouse ears. She looks sexy. That's what I'll say. But this is the real Catwoman suit that you need. Not a whole bunch of skin showing. Not that it's not sexy show woman skin or anything, but still, that didn't really feel like a movie. So Catwoman's able to sneak around from the cameras, and Isis is able to create distractions. So she's gonna steal the emerald. She, you know, gets into the vault. You know, Black Mask and Lady Minerva, Barbara talk about their business, how they're gonna Leviathan, how he's gonna come in, and she's able to see like these lasers, which she has to get through, which is a cool jump. She says, but then you see the Batarang. She assumes it's Batman, but then the alarms go off. She fights with some of the men, and Selena's in the masquerade ball said, "She's like, well, come and get me." I like it when she makes jokes and stuff, and all these people, all the guests have weapons. I'm like, okay. I guess Lady Minerva tells all her guests, bring weapons, bring baseball bats, guns, knives, whatever. If we just in case we get any intruders, we'll just kill them. Okay. But they, Tobias will try to attack her, but Catwoman gets away, is able to fight them off, fight some of the guests off. And she's like, I'm Selena Kyle, aka the Catwoman. See? That's the character. Take that, Holly Berry's Catwoman. Yeah, and the people who made that movie. Yeah. I know that movie's what, 21 years old now. But they should look back at this movie and say, yeah, this time we should have done it. But Catwoman steals the car. There's a car chase. They try to, she is like, I'm gonna pin her. He's like, we're gonna pin me. What? And Catwoman teases him. She moves the car back, and it's a pretty cool car chase. And she gets away, but then she gets stopped by Batwoman. She gets knocked out. Batwoman leaves the emerald there, but with the bat trigger on it. And again, I didn't care for Batwoman. Batwoman and her red hair. I'm like, it kind of ruins it's supposed to be intimidating or disguise. I'm like, disguise is horrible, by the way. I'd rather take Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl over Batwoman any day. Yes, even the Batwoman show, the CW show, Ruby Rose, and whoever the black actress was, I'm sorry, I don't know her name. I don't care. No, I'm not being racist or anything like that, but I didn't like the Batwoman show. I'm not sexist or woman, y'all. I just don't care for Batwoman as a character. Not just because she's a lesbo, because I don't care about her. We'd have Batgirl. Batgirl's good enough. Why do we need a Batwoman? I don't give a darn if she was from the comics. Yeah, but you know, oh, it's a cat eyes there, mom. Selena then gets woken by ISIS on a jet. Batwoman Enterprise agent Julia Pennyworth, I guess, who is a maybe the true niece of Alfred Pennyworth, who of course knows that Bruce Wayne's butler, who is a Batman, of course, and King have taken her into custody. They explain that Batwoman planted a tracer on the Emerald before Black Mask acquired it. They now are following him and Minerva. Leviathan has grown in wealth and power, and they are determined to bring it down. So they intend to trap Minerva to meeting all these senior members of the cartel. So they're, going to clear her arrest warrants. I mean, Selena has a record for all the criminal activities and all the, because she's a cat burglar and she's stolen a lot. So she's got to, they'll give her the records. Minerva calls a hit on Catwoman, hence the title Catwoman Hunted. Because Minerva's like, Selena called him, pissed me off, put a hit on her. And it makes Minerva enough to want to kill her for trying to steal from her. The jet, they have Penguin's jet, yeah, and then Catwoman, yeah, there's like a lesbo moment where Catwoman seduces her. She's got the towel. She's gonna take a bath. And I'm like, I didn't care for this moment, even though Selena is a beautiful woman and she does. I'm sure good naked. We don't see her naked though. We do see a little bit of tit, but they don't show too much. She, tries to seduce Batwoman by taking like her bat radio or something like that. Like she takes a tracer. She obtains her phone. Yeah. So Batwoman is able to, cats don't fly, but she's able to get on a we call when you jump out the like skydiving basically, but with a parachute of course, because cats can't fly. Catwoman has fun doing that. And that's where the Lady Barbara convinces the meeting of Leviathan and there's a Black Mask to the other. Mr. Yaku, Letter Trinia, is that a Ladam who of course likes her, and then a guy named Moxie who him and Black Mask have a bit of a rival. Catwoman gets an upgrade of goggles, by the way, which are pretty cool. He makes the jump. He gets confronted by this woman named Sharir, who's, you know, part of the League of Assassins, led by, we don't see the character, but I'll tell you, Al Ghul. She's led by them, I guess after Ra's al Ghul did finally die. But anyway, Catwoman fights with her, uses her wits, takes her own sword, by the way. Catwoman shows up, and then she has her own, they have a new assassin that's basically like a bat and fights Batwoman. Batwoman is weak too. She gets her ass kicked every time. Selena has to save her most of the time, so they jump on this one who's got wings like a bat. They're able to defeat her and bring her down. Yeah, but they take the assassins down. Catwoman, Batwoman. They get surrounded by Leviathan and their gores. Black Mask and his men up in fire. I do thought it was funny that when Batwoman normally just grabs one guy like as a hostage, and they say, and Black Mask is like, shoot her, kill her, and they're like, but number one's the way, Mask. And then Black Mask just picks up his gun and pows and shoots his own man. It's like, no, he's not anymore. I thought that was funny. And I'm like, and Batwoman just stands there. I'm like, Batwoman, did you ever end up playing like a smoke grenade or something? Or batarangs a little more? I'm like, come on. Were you not trained by Batman? Yeah. Oh, because you're Batwoman, you just do anything, right? Yeah. And then all the other members of the Levi shop, they have like monsters. Lady Diamond, she has these two monsters that Batwoman does a cool moment of treating them like, okay, go back to you. She like is able to shoot something into her mouth, kind of like a spider web, almost like a web in her mouth. She can't say nothing. She knocks her out. Yeah. Catwoman fights Tobias Wells, who, by Tobias Wells, he's like the nemesis of Black Lightning. He's like the kingpin. He's got all muscle and all fat, but he's very strong. You see all his muscles, and he's fighting Catwoman. She headbutts him, then she uses the knives. She has the knives on her boots, cuts him in his arm, and eventually knocks Tobias out, which I thought was a good fight. And then, the Interpol SWAT team shows up along with King and Julia, and they take some of the men out. And one guy's gonna come. They just shoot one of them. Like, well, it's not easy. I'm like, you gotta show up late to the party. Yeah, and yeah, it was these demon monsters. Of course, it's not the first time you've seen that in DC. Where, like I said, DC is dark, so you see them demons and monsters are nothing new to the DC universe. Yeah, they take down all the monsters. They defeat them. Yeah, and there are moments where Catwoman is funny. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. The harder they fall. Then Catwoman, they let her go. She's got the emerald. Then she's on a new mission. She has to fight like 52 assassins because again, Lady Barbara sent all these out, and her and Batwoman are fighting, which I thought was pretty entertaining, especially from Catwoman. She's counting like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing better than you, and they count, and then after taking the assassins out, then they send Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy knocks the hell out of Batwoman, tries to shoot him with the back cover, but he grabs the line like from his back and punches her out. Solomon Grundy born on Monday, risen on Tuesday, married on Wednesday. And Batwoman, Catwoman gets, so then he gets him chase him. She's like, "You're getting married, huh? Well, here, have like 50 bombs in your mouth." And she blows up his head. Of course, he'll rise again back on Monday. Because Solomon Grundy is a zombie. You can kill him, but he always comes back. Lady Barbara shows up herself. She shows her in cheetah form, which I thought was pretty creepy and a pretty good fight. She cuts Catwoman like on the side here really bad, nearly kills her. Batwoman ain't no help because Batwoman just gets knocked the hell out. This is just a Catwoman movie. Batwoman should never been in the first place. But then Selena can handle herself. Yeah. Of course, Cheetah has this, Robin Minerva, she has this purse she had on her, and it turns into Cheetah, and she's like a big Cheetah. I thought it was pretty creepy, too, and I'm like, wow, this is a better infight than the one with Sharon Stone, who Sharon Stone cannot fight in the Count 2. That was a crappy fight, and really bad, awful music, too. This was better. This was more of an intimidating fight. She cuts Selena and take her mask off, and she's just cut really bad. She's able to hide, and Cheetah's just looking for her face. I thought was pretty creepy. Cheetah looked really creepy, and Cheetah looked a lot better here. This is some of the best animation I've seen her in. And like Justice League Doom, she was good in animation there too. And in Justice League show, yeah, Cheetah, I like that she was the main villainess here. She's not pointless. Like, I mean, the actress, I forget, I'm not gonna look it up right now, who played her in Wonder Woman 1984. I know the actress' name, but I'm not gonna look it up right now. But she was pointless, just kind of thrown in there. But in here, front and center, she is the main villainess, which I thought was cool, and leader of the Leviathan group. I like that. You know, they should have done that with Wonder Woman 1984, maybe. At least not made that character like Jim Carrey. But anyway, she her up the elevator. Catwoman tricks her. Is ever get her jump? Catwoman uses her weapon, chokes her, and does this cut on her. And you assume that Cheetah dies or gets sent away because she gets impaled on these pipes. So much she lives, they take Grundy as well. You know, Batwoman catches Catwoman up. I think it was a funny moment when they yell at Catwoman, was like, "No, you're not getting the emerald." But Catwoman was like, "Well, Minerva was. She had another reason. Lady Minerva was prostituting young girls and using them for prostitution in her Leviathan group, and Selena had a good reason to go after her. So she's an anti-hero. What I mean by that with Catwoman character, she's not a true villainess. She's just both good and bad. That's what I'm saying. Like bad is that she does steal, which is wrong, but Catwoman loves the thrill of it. She loves the thrill of it. But she's not going to kill innocent people, especially young girls. If she has to, she'll help out. And she, unlike Batman, she kills her victims, kills her bad guys. So let's just say Cheetah was lucky Catwoman just didn't claw her up, which I kind of wish maybe she did instead. If they would have made this film more rated R, I think they should have. Take Batwoman out, see her just cutting Cheetah up in pieces with a scratch in her. Yeah, yeah. And then, the lady that, Cheetah falls on the ground. The other, villainess says, well, we'll get Talia to go on this. She's up for it. Talia's with the real leader. So another reason to hate Selena Kyle. Then she gets the charge of dropping her slate is wiped clean, if you will. And then she's on a ferry. She admires the emerald with her cat, Isis. She gets a call from Holly, who's not her girlfriend but a friend of hers. That she keeps on. They use the money to help Anya and the other girls from. So she's trying to help these prostitution girls that was in prostitution. So she does the right thing, just in her own way. She goes to Tower of London. Yeah, and like I said, Catwoman was hunting Leviathan from the beginning, not just stealing from them, which I like that. Selena had another motive. I mean, Catwoman has these motives that you might not get, but she has her own motives. She's just a mysterious cat, if you will, a mysterious feline. You know, who their own Catwoman basically has her own agenda. Is what I'm trying to say. That's the character. But that was the movie. Her being on the ferry, telling her I'll be back in Gotham City soon. She's going to the Tower of London. Yeah, and that's the end of Catwoman Hunted. Maybe I'll read some quotes from the movie, and then I'll get my final thoughts on it. Just really quick, y'all. Really quick. If I can read some quotes, if I can't, I don't know. But this was very entertaining. I did like this movie a lot better than Catwoman. Oh, come on, no quotes? Ugh. Alright, anyway, guys, let me get my final opinion on this movie. I really enjoyed Catwoman Hunted. This was really good. I loved it. Now, first of all, I think the animation is really good. The action is good. The story was good too. And they got the character right. Her name is Selena Kyle, and she's the Catwoman. A cat burglar. There is no other Catwoman from centuries ago like they do with this movie. I'm sorry, my stomach is hurting a little bit. I'm trying to hurry up here. But, there is none of that. The story that doesn't make sense. No cat breathes into her mouth or air. She doesn't get bit by a cat. I mean, I love Batman Returns, don't get me wrong. But we've already dealt with the Catwoman wants revenge on her death thing, and they put that again in Catwoman 2004, which didn't work with that movie. Did not absolutely work at all. They really screwed the pooch on that one really bad with that film. That's why I hate that movie. This movie was more entertaining. The action, the animation, the writing is good. Uh, the editing, the action, the action is really good. I thought the animation style of the anime was really good in this movie. I like the anime. Catwoman suit was cool. It was cool to see where like the Catwoman suit in the beginning. So, what I love about this Catwoman, they got the Catwoman character right. That was done right. That the 2004 film 2004 movie failed. Not just because of the name, but the problem with that movie was the story, and you could definitely tell that the director of that movie did not know anything about the character of Catwoman. Now, I may not have read the comics, but I know the character well enough that I've watched Batman media for. I mean, I've been a Batman fan nearly all my life, and I know the character. I feel like I know the character pretty well. It's pretty simple. Cat burglar, Catwoman. She's an anti-hero, both good and bad. She has her own agenda, her own attitude and how she does things. She's basically an anti-hero, more or less. Yeah, she won't like kill innocent people, but she will kill bad guys. That's what I'm trying to say. Now I did like Black Mask in here. Lady Minerva, Cheetah was pretty scary here when she turned to Cheetah, but good villains as well. The villains are pretty good. Tobias Wells was a good villain. Black Mask was too. They could have done more Black Mask, like him taking on Catwoman in a fight. Let me know my problems. My number one problem is I don't like Batwoman. I've always hated this character. I just don't like her. Period. I prefer Batgirl. I would take Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl over this. Batwoman I thought was weak in here. She gets her ass kicked half the time. Most of the time it's just Catwoman doing all the work. Batwoman is just thrown in here because, whoa, this is a female superhero, so let's throw another female superhero. Why not Batgirl? Oh, we can't do that. Now, Batman doesn't have to be in the film. No, of course not. But then again, I'm just fine if it's a Catwoman solo movie without a Bat character in it. You didn't need a Bat character at all. We've seen plenty of them in other Bat media kind of stuff, movies and TV shows and animated movies where we've seen plenty of the Batman characters. Just make a Catwoman without a Bat character. I remember the Bat family. Doesn't always have to be a Bat to deal with a cat, if you know what I mean. And also, like I said, Black Mask, I wish she had a fight with him. I kind of wish Black Mask was the main villain. This movie might confuse you because when you look at the poster here and you see Black Mask, you're probably thinking, well, he's the main villain. Well, he's more of a secondary villain. Yeah, I was disappointed with that, but again, at least the character's not, he's not flamboyant. He's not screaming and trying to make a woman take her clothes off and just try to do a weird dance. I'm like, yeah, he's not weird and flamboyant. I'm like, and make him a woman hater basically. I'm like, no. Black Mask is just a criminal that wears a black mask. That's it. And a crime boss who is a psychopath as well. You know, but the voice cast is really good. I didn't care for the lesbo scene either. And you could have done more of Black Mask instead of, yeah, and just have Catwoman deal with more assassins on her own. I didn't mind the whole story that she had an interpol. I'm like, okay, fine. I didn't mind that. Just take the Batwoman character and focus more on Catwoman being hunted. Because when you have a title called Catwoman Hunted, I'm supposing she's being hunted because she stole something. Because that's Catwoman. She's a Catwoman. She'll steal something that somebody wanted to be pissed off at her and come after her. Just play more on that. Maybe give Cheetah a bit more to do. But I did like the climax. I'm not going to complain. We'll have it at the end. Just take Batwoman out. So the things you could work on in this movie to take out, but it's still like that. It's still very entertaining. It's a very entertaining film. It's just some of those problems I have with it. If you took some of that stuff out, I would have been more happy with it. But Catwoman Hunted, my rating for this film, let's see, anything else that I missed? By the way, it's a very short film. It's 1 hour and 18 minutes long, 78 minutes or 76 minutes, whatever. But it goes by at a quick pace. And, it's not that long. And believe me, it won't bore you. Despite some of my problems with it, it's still an entertaining movie. And I would definitely buy it on DVD, Blu-ray for cheap. You know, whatever was cheap. But anyway, Catwoman Hunted. So my rating for this film, Catwoman Hunted, I'm gonna give this film a thumbs up and 4 to 5 stars. So guys, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of Catwoman Hunted in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you a fan of the Catwoman character yourself? Who's your favorite actress to play Catwoman or voice Catwoman? I like the best Catwoman voice is Adriana. Get the actress's name, but she was in Swamp Thing and Escape from New York. She's the best voice of Catwoman in my opinion. My favorite live action Catwoman it will always be Michelle Pfeiffer, and I love Julia Newmar as well. So some good actors in there as well. Let's start my 2024 reviews. Yeah, but guys, just tell me what you think of this movie in the comments down below, and stay tuned, guys, for the next review tomorrow. Starting my 2024 superhero reviews. That is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Coming up next, stay tuned for that. Tell me guys what you think of Catwoman Hunting down below. And stay tuned for the next review. We're now starting with the year 2024. That is Justice League Crisis on Infinity Earth Part 1. So stay tuned next time. Thanks for watching guys. Bye bye.